on the defense. What kind of start is this, Mojo?
Well, this is a really defensive start here from GoHard. We already seen when Kazna actually got locked in that corner. If you remember, that was not a very memorable thing for them. They got pretty much surrounded and wrecked. Swift, knowing they're playing against Arti, will probably play ultra aggressive against them. So GoHard has to make a good crossfire and make sure none of their tanks are single-outed easily or overmatched somewhere. It's not going to be an easiest game of them all because Swift is already biting in.
Swift has to be careful here. There's a lot of tanks here from GoHard ready to pounce. You can see Diplomat lining up the shell. Mirsky, he has to be careful. Now they're keeping Tyne on the other side here and they're sending Road forward. So far it's okay from Swift, but there's still 2 batches on the eastern side. Road, he's going to go down rather quickly.
Road is going to spot them. That's the most important thing they need. With the big shells coming in.
Well,
I think he could have counted everyone.
That is Rodon. That Mirsky's taking a lot as well. Skylax kind of caught in the open here. Don't think Swift were suspecting this one as Tuxika and Scarium, they're letting off shells. Skylax takes even more here. I mean, he kind of should be dead at this point. They're finally pick him up, but Kaizu, he took a lot for that.
This is a problem we've been saying many times. If you want to play this aggressive as Swift, you need to have a couple of tanks on that top of the hill and they need to push simultaneous. You need to do attack with every 7 guys from both sides and to go in all-out fight. You cannot play tip-top game like this because this is what happens. You're gonna get wrecked.
GoHard, they aren't messing around. They're already 2k HP up here. Swift now has to rotate, but every single thing is in favor of GoHard. They have the guns, they have the HP, they have the arty, and they still have 8 minutes left.
The only guy wrecked, and with that engine now, is Kaizu with that Grill 15, but let's face it, he can stay behind the guys and always cover from some big distance. The important tanks are all at numbers. They still have all budgets alive.
Game is slowing down here a little bit as Swift there starting to rotate, but Diplomat, he's lining up a shell in that artillery piece. Mikhailov is still going to be the target, I think. There we go. The shell goes out. Oh, close.
Close one, lucky one, a lucky one. But Mendex is taking some damage instead from the budgets on the hill.
That E5
Actually, from a Nile, maybe.
Perhaps from Nile, yeah.
From Nile. It will be from Nile.
He's down to 548 here. Can Nile, can he land that shot? Perhaps he has a small third shot, but it's not looking good for Swift in this first round.
Well, they're doing a rotation from the forest side now. Mirsky and Crespix trying to do any desperate move and maybe make Nile a target. But honestly, Nile can just fall a little back and he will still have a good cover by Tyne and Arti and other guys. And even by the time they kill him, they will lose minimum 1 tank. Minimum.
Crespix and Mirsky, they're lining up the shells here onto the side of Nile in that IS-7. Take it any second here. There they go. The first shells going into Nile. Nile has to back off. He's taking some damage here. They want to do more. Already taking 1k here on Nile. He should be getting saved sometime soon. So some damage being traded back here in favor of Swift. And the HPs are still very even. Nile kind of overstaying there.
Both are in reload here, but Mikhailov is taking a shell by Arti, I think. He just, STB just took a pound in atmospheric. He's not getting any better because there is a push coming in from GoHard.
I think Diplomat did it again. He hit Mikhailov, but there comes the push from GoHard. Scarium, Tuxika, Tyne. They're pushing onto atmospheric here. That 113 is already dropped very low. And GoHard, they should still easily have the advantage here. I mean, just look at the HPs left here for Swift. They really can't do anything.
Crespix is the only guy with some HP. I mean, GoHard just needs to think now how do they want to deal till the end of the game. Yes, they lost Nile now, but there is 1500 HP advantage, and they have, as we said, all the budgets alive. You need to close out Tyne if you want to shoot like that. You need to close the deal, mate.
Well, Tyne does pick up atmospheric, but Crespix in return carry Barry here. He's going for Mandax. He gets Mandax, takes some damage in return. Yes, it's sloppy from GoHard. It could be closed a lot cleaner, but they're still doing the job.
Yes, still we have only guy with HP here who can rotate for Swift. That's Crespix. Mirsky is pretty much crippled, and Mikhailov, that's a single shooter, STB, not the most mobile tank of them all.
Tipinwal firing at Crespix, not even close this time. Still GoHard here. I mean, yes, the HPs are even, but it's 5 guns against 3.
Yes, I think this Arti Well, this is questionable now. Should they just use him on a cap or actually aim somewhere with him? Oh, Suxika, I mean, okay, you took a shot, but that's not really paying off.
But Skyrim in return picks up Mikhailov, though, from the rails there from E6. Now Swift down to 2 guns. GoHard still with 5. I mean, they should be able to close this out unless they pull a Kazna.
Oh, you had to go there, right?
Oh yeah, that's your fault. That's completely on you.
Well, those mines never happened, right? That's what Vesta said. There is a blank memory in that game. But to refresh everyone's memory, when we brought it out, Kazna had a tank and a half of advantage here on mines.
2 tanks, pretty much.
Pretty much almost 2 tanks. And then they saw Hellfish, as far as I remember, in the water. And they wanted to push him. And then they lost 2 tier 9s, 100% instant, and the entire game turned upside down and they lost it for no reason. They won the match. But that game was just something that we didn't think even in wildest dreams is possible to happen. But we should go back to this match. There are still 2 operational butchers here by Swift, but they really have no positions how to deal with the enemies. So Sika should be able to close the deal here, yes.
Sika closing the deal on Mirsky. Now Crespix, the last one standing. This is not the start Swift would have wanted. Scario misses. Crespix does not miss. Crespix does not have enough shells. Well, he shouldn't. The last was a last shot from Crespix here. He's now on reload. Scarium has 2 more. And the Bacha, the only thing he can do now is run. But it won't matter because 10 seconds left on the clock. GoHard, they're going to be taking this first round. 2 seconds, 1 second. And there we go. GoHard pick up the first round, bringing it now 1-0 in their favor.
Well, I would say no one took a beauty points for this game because it was sloppy. It was sloppy pretty much. It was also nervous, like we've seen Valbunch and the Legend in the last game. The start was really shaky. Valbunch has a couple of thousand of advantage on that ghost town, and it almost melted away. This was pretty much similar. They really had good position, good crossfire, and Swift just ran into it blindly. Like,
yeah, Nile...
Go, shoot us.
Yeah, Swift going into that little city, very blind, then pushing road forwards.
I mean, I would really understand if they said, okay, all 7 guys, some will come from the hill, these guys will go from here. So yeah, if you meet resistance, then you will just fight it till the end.
Because of Nile's position.
Yeah, but that's why I say, if you want to really play this side, you really play it committed. That's how some teams won or lost this. This guy lost because they didn't play it out till the end.
Even GoHard making a few mistakes there. I mean, sending Nile, Nile staying there a little bit too long.
We've seen him overstretch like that few times, if you remember.
Yep,
it happens.
Also, first in stats.
In this map here now, boom.
I'm gonna make you guess every single time.
Oh, maybe Suxika.
Suxika? I'm saying... I'm not saying anybody. Ooh.
I was close, but for like, for almost 1,800 different 17.
Crespix, not bad, but after that, it's a hell of a lot of GoHard players.
Yeah, there is a really purplish setup here on the first page. Not very good place for Swift guys, but they really, really flunked it on the start there with that misplay. So even Diplomat is above the tier 10s here. And even Kaizo, who more or less after that initial engagement didn't even fire a shell to connect anyone.
No, but Diplomat landed a nice shot onto Atmospheric in the STB. Nile there, the only one on the second page together with the boys from Swift.
Nile. Well, Nile was giving them moral support.
Yeah, but, that was also about it.
That was also about it. He didn't shoot much. I think he connected that shot on E5. That's about it.
Yeah, I think so as
there was some shot on ground also we've seen on camera.
Well,
so that hill was very hurt.
Highlights here from the last round. This is Rody's like, yo. Kaizu's like, yo, what's up?
Okay, this is what we meant, guys. If you really want to push this side, you need to have the guys over the top of the hill and the other guys pressing down aggressively. So if there is any resistance, you actually want to deal with it instant. Really brutal savage way, whatever we would say. But like this, no, it doesn't work. And they open themselves wide, so GoHard can do whatever they want in the next phase of the game.
Well, that puts us where we are now, Mojo.
1-0 here for GoHard. Good start for them, as we said for the Wild Bunch. It's a good start always to be on a higher ground.
Now, GoHard is going to be defending.
Okay.
Swift is going to be attacking.
That's really brilliant, mate.
Let's take a look what we got for our tanks. I mean, you know, it's really hard being this smart. Triple 113. Okay.
So Swift here going a bit heavier now in attack with 3 113s. They're looking for direct brawl because this is not really hugely rotational setup. GoHard playing quite conventional now. They just play with E5 and 113 and they have Grille in the back. So more or less, mainly teams when they play this, they want to focus around the village side. That's what GoHard done few times. But honestly, they can just shift and play from the woods also. It's up to them.
Where do you think they're going to go? Little city or woods? The 113s is more 1-2 than...
I would go toward the little city more. And just leave maybe one guy outside.
Really?
Mm.
You wouldn't want to push 1-2 with that?
If I was the GoHard?
No, if you were Swift.
No, if I was Swift, I would push outside.
Okay. That's what I was asking. But Swift, they want to make this 1-1. GoHard could make it 2-0. Second round here on Prokhorovka. As we said, Swift is going to be attacking GoHard on the defense here. And Mojo, it seems like we were right. They are going 1-2.
Well, we are all Captain Obvious because if they go on the other side, yes, it would be a surprise, but usually not a good one with those 113s having that brilliant hold down and gun depression that can hit practically nothing downwards. But Mirsky doing the spot on the center with a tier 9 butshot. At least he will be expendable if there is a big clash there, which cannot come because GoHard mainly has lower tanks.
Trap from GoHard. Trap.
This is interesting, Carryberry and Diplomat here. This is not a usual position. You can usually leave a heavy tank there to be unspotted, but when you leave a butshot, it's really like Taki said. If they push, they will be instantly there to fight.
Mirsky already taking the first shell there. I mean, those batshots there in the trap, Mojo, if they do decide to push, they would never see it coming.
No, they would be too close and they would already be in the trenches down below. It would provoke a huge fight between the teams, and GoHard, they obviously are not scared of that.
That is triple 113s moving down the 1-2 line. No surprises there. You send the heavies first. Your bad shots behind. But what is their move after that? Because this GoHard defense could be pretty brutal if they do decide to drive into it.
Yeah, they would want to press with those 113s in one cap, but taking a lot of damage. So they will have to do some kind of spotting first to fan out where is the Grille so they don't get shot. But Nile could get in a world of pain here.
Nile has to be careful. Already takes one shell. Very lucky to get out of there with only taking a single shot of damage.
Wow, that radio guy. But who cares about radio guy? The tank is alive and everything else in it. Well, Swift guys are now spotted, so GoHard has pretty good idea where they are, how they're positioned, so they can make their plays accordingly. They abandoned the field with butchers, they're leaving only the heavies here. This is a standard defense, 1-on-3 on top, E5 from the bottom, and they're doing immediate rotations with butchers. Look, they're already taking over the hill.
That shot from Crestwig there onto Skyrim. Well, GoHard is rotating here towards that eastern side. Now, does Swift push into these two heavies? Because I don't think it will work very well.
So far, from the teams we've seen, if you push only one, he never had a good time doing that. But if you push 2 or 3, you actually might have a chance to not receive that much damage in one bulk, but still it would leave them open, like to be dependable on the rest of the force they have, which is only 3 butchers. Now we've seen GoHard already suicide once on Prokhorovka when they were doing a counter-attack, if you remember. So there is always an option like that, and Swift is positioned to shoot them if they do exactly the same move. Road and the butchers have the crossfire to deal with them if that happens.
Skylex and Crestwig's there, lining up shots on Skyrim, I think, from that E1 position. We've seen it being used before, but that bad shot gun, not really that reliable.
Maybe Skyrim turned his turret carelessly, because there is usually no other explanation. Like panning that frontally, not really.
You never know. You have to believe, Mojo.
I believe in every shot.
Any shot you don't take is damage you miss out on. Yeah, they're lining up the shots against Skyrim. It's going to be very hard for them to actually pen that. Skyrim now gets spotted. They don't go for it. Okay.
And Skyrim would have to do a big mistake, go high up, or just turn the turret to side or back, so they will be able to connect him there. But there is not really much action here, but sooner or later Swift will have to commit and enter that cap. Now then comes the action, because these guys have a crossfire between an 1-1-3 and that E5. While they're approaching, Grilla will probably try to do one shot and just pull away so he doesn't get wrecked.
Atmospheric. He's going forwards now, that 1-1-3. Got a little push in the back from Mirsky.
Let's see how it goes. We've seen some people, when they cross this little hill, they get pretty much annihilated, and Atmospheric took only 2 shells so far for his effort, which is not that bad, honestly. Like, we've seen people take much more. Oh, there is a third one by Tyne, so that's a good shot by him, an important one, because you don't want this guy to have much HP. You want to
took some in return, though.
Yeah, you want to limit the damage that you need to take with that E5 and 1-1-3 when you decap to the smallest possible. Atmospheric is now more or less 3-shot.
Good cover fire coming out from Crespix and Skylex, though. They managed to drop Scarium to 1063. Atmospheric is still on the cap here. I mean, Mandax is now joining him, so that's the second 1-1-3 in there as well. Dropping the cap down to 38 seconds here.
So we have 2 guys now, but the main carrier of the cap is
Atmospheric.
Yes, Atmospheric, as he was. Tyne, he peaked, but he resetted the wrong guy.
Kinda needs to get Atmospheric here. Still
he will need to take some shots for that. Mandax actually left the cap, so he's doing everything possible just to protect Atmospheric. Not a really fast game here. There is 4 minutes and 20 seconds till the end, but it's a tactical one, and it will probably end up in one moment in just one big brawl.
Tyne, he got hit again. He lost his gunner, but he had the medkit available. Took a lot of damage for that one, that E5. I mean, 36 seconds left now, and both those heavies, they're starting to drop low. There needs to be a play here from GoHard.
GoHard will have to do a really big push very soon, because Tyne cannot sustain this kind of thing for a longest while. But Scarium now, I think it's the right moment for him actually to peek out and decap.
Scarium, can he reset? No, he didn't. 16 seconds. There has to be a reset soon here. There's a play from GoHard. All the bad shots, they're pushing across the F line. But there's a lot of fire there.
Reload. Crespix is in reload, mate, and they're pushing in. That's going to be a big problem for Swift.
Yeah, but Nile already taking a lot here. Skylex picks up Nile. Now Diplomat coming in, but he has no real support from his teammates. They need to focus down Mikhailov very quickly. Now Skylex, he is on reload. Crespix is about halfway through. Road only has 2 more shells available. They need to pick up at least 1 more batch shot here. Mandax is going to go down as well towards Tyne as he gets blown up by Diplomat, actually. So GoHard, they made the play. They lost a lot of HP, but they're still okay for now.
Okay for now is a keyword, because now those batchets are coming out to the reload, and everyone in GoHard doesn't have a shell anymore to fight with. They only have that Grille and Tyne and the 1-1-3, but they're on the other side of the battlefield. If they lose the batchets, it's not going to be a cool game for them.
Both Carry Barry and Diplomat actually managed to run away from that, and Crespix is now on reload again. So Road is now on the chase in the tier 9 Batchat. Barry is on the run, Diplomat is on the run, and these Batchats, they might actually make it out. As I say that, though, Barry gets hit again, and Skylex picks him up, but still, Diplomat survived somehow.
The Diplomat is still alive, but we have here Skylex and Road with a lot of HP. Crespix is pretty much crippled without that Commander, and Mirsky is on 1 shot, so he can only snipe. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is not a game you want to try to cap on anymore, because that kind of pressure is easily removed with Tyne or with Scarium. I really think they just need to gather and push in one moment, and it needs to be a decisive push, probably over the middle, to wipe out the heavies first and then cross the rail and chase the others. And while this is going on, someone has to take care of the flanks, so GoHard can't run away.
Suxi getting a lot of info here. Road, nice shot onto the back of that Rue. Need to make a second. Yes, nice shot. Actually knocks out the engine from Suxi. Goes down.
Brilliant.
Great stuff from Road. Skylex now coming into the side here. Could potentially pick up Scarium, who's not looking at him. There comes Skylex. Nice shot by Skylex. Now Tyne is over there as well. Kaizu actually picks up Mirsky. Nice shot from Kaizu there now. Tyne gets spotted out by Skylex. Can he pick it up? Skylex doesn't connect the first, so he's going to need some help, preferably... Oh, bounces both shells, and Kaizu has one available. It's going to hurt. Whoa!
Oh, this actually might be a game loser now because he bounced these shells. This is really bad, and good work here by GoHard. Kaizu and Tyne like surviving here. That's a critical one. Crespix has to waste a lot of shells now, but Kaizu has a shell again.
And Kaizu picks up Crespix, so good stuff. Road is now the last one standing. That Grilla making the difference when it counts. Diplomat, he is still alive. How does this man survive? We do not know. Road lands the first. He should be able to pick up now. Oh, Kaizu! Kaizu from the back lines again, making it 2-0 for GoHard here. Great stuff in the end from that grill. Really great.
I guess Kaizu next to Diplomat is also a guy who can carry them in a gorilla. You remember the guy's game on Mines when Diplomat was like single-handedly taking them out of the gutter and winning the game. Well, this is like it.
Great target selection from Kaizu. He didn't shoot Skylex the first time. He shot Mirsky instead. And then Skylex has to fight an E5 from the front, from long distance.
It was really good selection and also steady hand. He didn't miss a shot. If he missed a single one here, they could have lost like this. That's a good play, mate. That's really good.
How did Carry and Diplomat manage to get out of that hole and survive for that long is beyond me.
Because a lot of guys were there in reload, so
yeah,
they
but
really...
Crespix had shells and he was shooting Carry.
They didn't really have all the shells. There was a lot of defilates and everything, but it was only a matter of time. I mean, it's really a miracle that actually Diplomat ran out of there alive. That's really a miracle. Like, I thought both of them will die before they get to the other side. But still, really close one. Closer than GoHard would really like to see, but it's still, again, a game.
It is a game for them. I think Kaizu is going to be first in stats. Let's take a look here. No, Tyne actually.
It's a close one, but Tyne actually had a lot of shots on those heavies, don't forget.
True.
And he was fighting all the time there. I was actually expecting somewhere maybe Skylex or Kaizu, but there we go. I stand corrected.
2 and 3.
Because these guys played really well. You cannot say anything about that. But simply GoHard at the end of the phase of the match, the most important one, in last seconds, they played well. I really thought it was 1-1 in one moment. Swift made a good moves there. They made good selections. Road took out the Rue, came from the back.
I feel like when Skylex killed Scarium, he shouldn't have continued going because Tyne that E5 from the front, it's like not an, you know, kind of depends on what the angle you're shooting from. He's not necessarily going to pen that. He could have easily went to take down Diplomat with Road.
I think maybe when he started shooting, should have taken E5 first, actually, because he was turned in the back.
Couldn't spot him.
He didn't see him?
He didn't see him. He didn't spot him.
Ah, that's the reason.
Because there's bushes in between.
Yeah, that's the reason. I thought he saw them both, but he just chose to take out the one shot.
Tyne even shot him once without getting spotted.
That's really nice.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights from the last round. This was the push here. Nile just really got removed off the map. Then Diplomat came in with Barry and cleaned up Mikhailov. At the same time, these 1-1-3s died where Tyne and Scarium were. That was great stuff that both Scarium and Tyne survived that. This was great from Road as well.
Yeah, Road here really played it out. I mean, if that Rue ran away, he would be a permanent pain in their backs. Also, he could just choose and run away in some moment. But there you go. This is a crucial moment that everything in this game actually ended up right here.
Yep. Crespix did take down Tyne, but then there's like Kaizu, and Kaizu's like, well, Diplomat, you need some help? No problem, mate. There we go.
He had a lot of those shots at the end that were not high damage, but the key is he actually connected them. There was no bounces, track shots, or anything nonsense like that. They were kill shots. I think he killed like 4 guys there.
Something like that. He killed Mirsky, then he killed Skylex, then he killed Crespix, and then he killed Road. So 4.
Yeah, 4 guys.
Well, if Shokish was watching right now, I'd be like, yeah, Daki always bounces bad shots on Prokhorovka. Only because one round when I played in training with them, I hit a bad shot twice with the Gorilla and it bounced off the frontal armor.
It happens, mate. We've seen it on stream several times. It's not to you, it's the game.
Let's take a look at the lineups moving into Ghost Town. I will never forgive Shokish for that. It just hit a weird part of the armor.
So Swift here in defense, playing with E100s and 57s. We already said multiple times this is a good defensive setup. T10 also, I think they already played it like this. Pretty solid and strong. On other hand, here GoHard has 50 Bs and FE heavies in attack and those 2 AP bachats. Now we already said this can be played as a cheese. You can just go and rush the cap with those 2 tier 9s, but I don't think that's very viable setup against this Swift.
I still don't like the 50Bs versus the E100s and T57s. I mean, if Swift played right, it's very hard.
It's really hard. Like, you have to catch off someone first, off guard, before you even engage the rest of the team. That way, those 50Bs can be a strong force. But if you just go head-on with these guys, this auto loss.
Well, we really need Swift to show up here in our next map, or GoHard is going to run away with it. It's going to be Ghost Town. Like I said, Swift really need to show up here. They're going to be on the defense, GoHard on the offense.
Well, GoHard, as we expected, they will not really try to look for a brawl on the upper side on one cap at the start, because that would be an auto loss. They're actually looking for easier prey, and they might even find it, because there is a big split between Swift forces here.
Crespix and Mikhailov here in the south. The rest of the team pretty much in the north. This could be a little bit of a trap, you know, putting Mikhailov here.
They're not spotting here. And there is a super aggressive approach by GoHard. Let's see how it goes, because more or less this is 2-on-2. No one can help either of the team.
Tier 10 batch shot, tier 9 batch shot versus 2 tier 9s here. Barry comes over. They did not expect Mikhailov. It looks like Barry is getting focused down, and he already goes down. The trap from Swift, if it might have been intentional, but it worked out. They should be losing time here any second as well. He tries to run, but on 40 HP, there's not much as he can do, as Mikhailov picks them up, and that's both of those tier 9 batch shots already down for GoHard.
This is not the start they actually wanted. I mean, this is aggressive play, but it was a blind play. They didn't see anyone coming there, and that ended up miserably as it started. We saw the first salvo that split one of the batchats, I think, Barry in half, and that was already lost right there.
I don't think they expected Mikhailov. Really, I don't think they expected him there at all.
It doesn't look like it. They thought there would be probably one guy there, and they will
Perhaps they were thinking Mikhailov would boost on A1, and then Crespix covers the south.
But whatever they were thinking, it was wrong, because they were looking for a fight, and then they were looking for counter-attack on the other guys, while those batchats already take that place. But now they're in a problem. I mean, by HP, there may be only 700-800 HP behind, but in reality, 5 to 7 guys.
Yep, now Mirsky, he's going to land a big one on Kaizu. Actually, no, he doesn't penetrate it, but Skylex in the T57 is penetrating his shells. Kaizu already dropping 1.7k HP here. In the meantime, Skyrim in that FE215B gets completely wrecked by Mikhailov and Crespix from the side. And Swift are not letting go of this round. They're taking control. Yes, GoHard trade. Mandax in return, but they're already down 3k HP. They have 3 guns left versus the 6 of Swift.
It's not really looking well for them, but you don't have to be Captain Obvious to see it like us. I mean, come on, surrounded from the all sides, this is not something that Swift will throw away. On the other side, when we watch Swift actually use the Ghost Town as a decider map for them against OR, they wanted to... when I say decider map, I don't mean the last one, but the only one they actually won, 2-0.
Well, the boys from GoHard here are going to be going home in this round as they're 50Bs. Diplomat now got off of reload, but he goes down to road. Crespix picks up Suxika. Nile, the last one standing. Skylex. I wish we had 30 seconds more and Skylex would blow up.
On his own. I believe one of his teammates would come and rescue him.
No, they wouldn't. No, I would not rescue one of my teammates in that situation.
You would just leave him?
Yeah, of course. Be like, whatever, die.
Nasty. Nasty person. But this was a short game. Really aggressive attempt by GoHard, but as it turned out, they did it blindly. It didn't pay off, as a lot of these plays don't.
You think it was intentional from Swift, leaving Mikhailov there unspotted? Because kind of felt like it a little bit, because Mikhailov wasn't really spotting, Crespix was.
But in reality, even if you send 2 guys there, why would both peek in any second?
Yeah.
Even if you want to spot that line there, and what to see what's coming your way, you will show 1 tank only. Why would you risk 2 guys?
And it works out really well in their favor.
Yes.
I mean, tier 10 and tier 9 versus 2 tier 9s, they should realistically always win that.
Even if it was 2 tier 9s against 2 tier 9s, they had first shots.
Yep.
So that pretty much won the game from the start.
And it fell to pieces after that.
I mean, what did GoHard have to do? They had to like push in those even 157s with 50Bs. It doesn't work like that.
They had to leave Skyrim behind. And like, if you remember with the Legend match, it was kind of like, oh well, bye Skyrim, bye.
So these guys now with 5 against 7, it's not something they can really deal with. Like it would require serious amount of Amorex in a row for them to work. But here now we have Swift coming back. It looks like Ghost Town is something that suits them more, but now they have to deal with GoHard in attack.
True.
So how will that look? We will see.
Well, we're going to look at the stats, and I'm fairly certain Crespix is going to be the #1. Well, whoa, Crespix, hello!
5k, okay.
5.1?
That's
it's one of the higher damages this season. It's not the highest, but one of the higher.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of guys play above 5k. Did we see anyone play above 6? I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
No one broke the 6 yet. We're gonna see. Maybe we give him a special cookie for someone who does.
It's really hard to break 6. That's insanely hard.
Some guys came around 5.5, but no more.
That's the highest.
That was the top of it. So Ghost down here on paper. I mean, in attack, GoHard should look good, but they just lost it. In defense, they don't look good because they have like 30%. So we will see how will Swift maybe come back in a game in the next one. But so far, look at this. Atmospheric with 0 damage done, and they still won the game.
Well, Atmospheric is not really meant to do any damage.
It's E100, come on.
You know, you just drive at them and take damage while we take a look at the highlights from the last round. And we can see that here, this was a 2 tier 9. That was like a rip Barry. Kind of really correct.
Goodbye, Barry. Tyne had nowhere to go, and he was pressured from both sides then already from the Swift. It was really already GG here. I mean, even some decisive counter push by GoHard will have no meaning.
Yeah.
Because
they're already 3k HP down at this point.
And Swift already had tanks in position. It would just be 5 versus 5, and there will still be those 2 budgets coming from the back when everything cools off.
It wasn't Barry's time to carry.
It happens from time to time. Oh, there he goes. Kyle, why did he even jump down? Like,
I don't know. I like how Niall realized, though, I can flip him here.
Yeah, but...
we should credit him that kill. That's plus 1.4k damage there for Niall. I'm granting him the damage.
You're a very merciful person.
I know, right?
Exactly. So we are going to see now in attack Swift. If they manage to pull it through, they're back in the game. It will be even Steven 2-2. But if they don't, GoHard will make a significant advantage.
I feel like they need to pick up this round here.
This is a break point of the match.
If they don't 3-1, it's going to be hard to recover, especially with the next maps. Well, Mucho, let's take a look at the tanks, because GoHard, they're bringing something interesting. Hello there, FV183.
FV183 in defense. Now it can work marvels here against these Bachats and 50B, but if he misses a shot, it's gonna be a complete disaster because they don't really have much fire potential here in reload with those E100s. They have 2 50Bs and a Bachat, and the Ru is not really a tool to fight with. It's more like a decap tool from the hell. We will see how will they position him. They might even angle him somewhere close to the cap so he can shoot at turrets of the people. But that would require everyone else to break the houses for him. On the other hand, Swift, they can play a really fast game with those 2 tier 9 Bachats. They can just enter the cap and pressure with everyone else to push them away.
Who's going to be playing the 183? I'm guessing Diplomat.
Think he will do it now, not Kaizu?
No.
Yeah, probably. Diplomat was playing it on Himmelzorf most of the time.
Well, let's get into the game. The 4th round between these two and find out. It is going to be Diplomat playing it, as I suspected. And that's going to be very crucial if he can land the shell, GoHard on the defense, Swift on the offense.
Well, Swift is not going for the cheese on 1 cap. They actually want to play a fight, and we look a really similar opening like GoHard did in the last game with those 2 tier 9 Bachats going down, but not YOLOing. Crucial part, not YOLOing. They stopped and they're waiting for their teammates.
Tyne here just making a spot. They boosted the Ru up on A1. Well, boosted. He climbed there by himself. Now, both these teams are actually... They might...
Interesting, actually, except Susika, no one is paying attention to that 1 cap. And the entire Swift team is down. But there is a big and great spot by Tyne here. This is really good because he picked up almost the entire Swift team. 4 out of 7 guys are spotted.
If Diplomat could land the shell here, he's repositioning. Swift going to go for it. There they go. Oh, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what happens now. Already some damage being traded between
I think
Mirsky.
Diplomat is aiming on this corner. It looks like that by minimap for me. Oh, Nile.
Oh, no, I think he's behind the next one. Oh, Nile already taking a lot in his 50B Crespix. Nice shots from him. So far, Swift kind of out-trading GoHard here.
And this is a good time to retreat from them because they would overstay their welcome if they did. So now there is a time for rotation here. They took a lot of resistance, but GoHard, knowing this, they will also move away their tanks to the other side. So this is like a little clash of the fighters here.
In favor of Swift, I'd say.
Yes, in favor of Swift. But still, nothing is finished here. This is really just a little peck on a cheek. And Rode and Mikhailov, they're going for the defilate on B0. It's really going to be important how they actually rotate those tanks. They need to focus on not taking any damage while they're doing it, Swift I mean. And they need to position them then correctly so they will actually help those budgets in a cap. They may even use those budgets just as a bait, like put all three of them in a cap and just rush out in some moment. But that moment will be a problem because they need to be very certain where is object. I mean FV183.
Both these teams now rotating. You can see GoHard, they're already in position kind of to deal with this. Then now it's just destroying some houses. And with the Rue up, it's not really going to be an option here for Swift, who decided to rotate again.
Well, we've seen them play against Ding, if you remember. I think they rotated the map like 5 times. Didn't help them though, but they did it.
Well, GoHard here just kind of covering their bases. I mean, Tyne in C1, Saxika in A3, staying together as a unit. Diplomat probably covering that 4 line. So whatever the rotation Swift does, I mean, GoHard should be able to deal with it.
Well, Swift, as long as they don't rotate much with atmospheric, Mirsky and Skylax, who are playing the fast tank, I mean the slow tanks, they can do whatever they want. And they're keeping them all the time around the center, and other 4 guys are going full speed left and right. So that's easy rotations. And now Crespix and Mendex, who are driving over the open field, they will probably know there is no one definitely there on the left side. So they might try to put someone there in the back and then do a back rotation again. So he would be a constant harassment and shooting them in the back, in their rear.
Shooting them in the rear indeed. Now Swift, they're back where they kind of started in the beginning of the game here. Atmospheric just checking out whatever he can see in front of him on that FG line. And then probably Swift, they are going to take control over that 1-2 line slowly. We can see Tyne, he doesn't really want to challenge that. He just kind of wants to spot them if they do decide to go for it.
Let's not forget, Swift can actually, in this kind of game, choose to just press the 2 cap. That's a viable option here. Indeed. Because if they get all the corners and cover fire, they can just say, okay, E100, you're going in for a cap. It can be joined by someone if needed, but I believe they would just leave him alone there, and everyone else should do the cover fire.
It's very hard to control that 2 base, though.
It is. It's not even about controlling it. It's about just making a good counter push once the team comes to decap. It's all about that.
Spots out Crespix here. Backs off now. Swift should be aware of the defensive positions from GoHard here. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's very reminiscent of a lot of ghost downs we've seen so far. Tyne here just spotting now the rotation from Swift. They'll probably re-rotate one more time. Imagine if Diplomat made a blind shot here.
Interesting part is Suxika could do something like Oops guys are doing. He can just drive on that A line, check out is there someone behind the corner. If there is no one, climb on that A8 position in that little defilate on the top of that hill.
He knows it though.
You think he doesn't know how to climb there? But it's easy, like we've seen in the stream a couple of times.
Yeah, but it's always, you know, if you don't really know it, you don't really want to do it.
True. We've seen like even tier 9 budgets climbing up there. But it was also Oops guys. And it's really good position because he is high above, he would spot entire side, he would see any rotation from far apart coming from Swift, and he would be able to shoot them in their backs all the time. So that would be almost an auto win for them because Swift would be forced to go on 2 cap then. But like this is, they chose to play more rigged game together, and they're pressuring the 2 cap here.
There we go now, Swift, double cap pressure already. They might decide to put one more guy on there, get triple cap pressure. Skarium trying to make a shot here against Mirsky, but doesn't manage to connect it. Skylax now going to be the 3rd one joining this cap, dropping it down to 27 seconds already. There's going to have to be a play here, a move from GoHard sometime soon. Skylex, big shell there already from one of the 100s.
There is some little exchange coming in there, little as in 700s plus. But this is the usual position. You leave one Clipper there and two are here in a corner. But Skylex realized there is no one protecting them from other side. And look at the cap.
5 seconds. There needs to be a reset here. GoHard. 2 seconds. 1 second. Hello, GoHard. There is no reset. And it's going to be Swift picking up the round here. GoHard, what are you doing?
Okay. A freebie. Okay, we've seen a couple of teams getting kept like this. I mean, oops, and so on, and even the
You're in
wild
an
bunch,
E100, and there's 7 seconds left on the clock. And what do? Drive around the other corner and be like, I'll get there on time, guys.
I really didn't expect this. I really didn't expect this. This is such a rookie mistake.
It's happened too many times this season where teams just get flat out capped.
I mean, I have a feeling that they, even with that siren and everything, they're not actually paying attention to it.
I think they need to have like a permanent siren, like super loud, obnoxious in the ears.
Like in those Nazi movies, alarm, alarm, all the time, something like that. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, this kind of plays, I really don't understand, because it's not a small misplay. It's not like you're doing a bad spot and you get tracked and annihilated. You see a big ticker there, and you need to move your forces.
With the amount of time left, and when the time gets close to 0, that means you have to reset the base.
Before that.
Yeah.
Preferentially before.
Preferentially before that. Let's take a look at the stats, or the very much lack of it. Wow, 1.5k damage here as the top damage
dealer from 2 shots. Nice
great
place.
Performance from Atmospheric, carrying his team towards the victory here with that 1.5k damage.
I mean, they even had an option if someone comes around the corner to track him, because no one was even close enough. This is really bad for GoHard, for someone who is trying to be in top teams.
I'm trying
top two
really
teams.
not to be negative, but losing like this is not good for any top team. It's just not good enough. Like, this cannot happen. If you want to be a top 3 team and you can't deal with a simple cap pressure on Ghostan, I mean, it's not like, you know, Swift reinvented the wheel here. They just put 3 guys on the cap. And GoHard, really, realistically...
It's not like they were even unspotted going there.
No,
they knew for last minute. They knew for the last minute what's going on. They just didn't react. Well, this was a comeback. That's the difference
between Ding and GoHard, for example. Because Ding would not sit where GoHard was sitting. They would be already at the corners.
They would be at the corners already and waiting. But this was a comeback map for Swift in previous matches, so here you go. It's again. I know
who's not going to be happy with that one.
Who?
Out of range.
True. I think they're like sitting like this.
Yeah, probably.
They don't need popcorns, they have their fingers.
Okay. Well, we now know what you like to do in your free time.
I don't need a manicure.
Well, let's take a look at the lineups coming into Muro-Vanka. We're just going to go forget about that last round. It never happened. Just completely forget about it. Leopard 1. Okay. Well, not a fan.
That Leo in defense, well, it's a fast rotational tank. I guess it can be easily penned as well as STB, so I can kind of understand that, but still, I would put rather something else on that.
Wouldn't you rather have like an STB that at least could bounce something on its turret than a Leo that's going to get penned by everything?
Honestly, in this kind of game, I would just have another budget.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you could pick between a Leopard and an STB.
Budget.
Doesn't work that way.
I want my toys, not your toys.
But GoHard there. No heavies, just bad shots, TVPs, Lorraine.
GoHard, only Diplomat. And they have an E5 to shoot on, and TVP and Leopard, who really don't have much room to go through, or they can just choose and clear out the bushes, because I think they should know the job there.
Well, let's find out who's going to take the lead here on Muro-Vanka. The score's all even between these two. Let's get into it. Well, GoHard here on the offensive, Swift on the defense, and Mojo, the stats are not looking good for GoHard.
Well, let's just say both have an identical stat in attack, and that's a potato, 0, zilch, nothing. They played a couple of games and they both didn't win a single attack. On defense of GoHard, I remember once when they were supposed to win, Dani disconnected, if I remember.
When they were supposed to win.
Yeah, they were actually leading that one. That was their first match. But really standard positions here by Swift. They left a light here in the field. That's probably even that cross bush as far as I can see. And everyone else is hugging the lower part of the hill. And Mendex, this is something we've seen people do recently. With E5s, he's hugging the red line because that's a kind of a safer spot for him than to get just wrecked by RT. I'm really hoping also he will be self-aware enough not to get spotted easily.
Well, it's been a big issue with players so far. We've seen they keep trying to peek in that J1 position. Diplomat lets off a blind shell, won't connect at all. A lot of Swift tanks here waiting in the bushes.
And they're trying to see will someone do a rash and fast approach from the one line. I've seen actually GoHard do it once. It didn't go well. And so maybe Swift is just hoping they will try it again.
Carry just spotting the side here. I think Skarium is going to be the dedicated spotter for this one. Yep, he goes over the bump. Now moving forward. See if he can spot something for Diplomat here. Be very crucial if he could make a spot for that artillery piece. Roams across the ridge so far. Doesn't see anything. I think Mandax is not peeking either. So far so good here for Swift. But there's another blind shot for Diplomat. Doesn't connect. Will now reposition.
GoHard is playing really, let's say, traditional here. And in the long run, if Diplomat doesn't actually connect 1 or 2 shots on blind, this will not go well for them. I think, honestly, they should have just went down and tried to fan out the light tank after 3, 4, 5 minutes, especially since they have Leopard and TVP and D5, so they don't have a great rotation force with those butchers. It would be a great advantage for GoHard if they just kill him off. And there is a limited amount of bushes you can get. There is a lot of them. It really looks like a lot, but most of them are predictable. So this is not a cross bush here. Road took. He took one next to him.
Diplomat letting off another blind shot. Not connecting that one either. Now GoHard could choose to put some cap pressure here to bait out a reaction, for example, from Swift.
Here we go. They're approaching now to do exactly that. They're really not even trying to deal with the one line here. They're mainly focusing on any kind of rotation coming from the Swift, from the 4 and 5 line, guys. Why am I saying that? Because in that case, these butchers will just try to run on a lower side and they will try to overwhelm any kind of forces that Swift has from the lower side, ignoring anyone on the top side.
Crest Picks now pushing up to Malnax as well. Cap down to 95 seconds. Looks like they're going to push that E5 forwards here. Malnax, he tries forward, spots out Skarium. Kaizu does not connect the shell. Diplomat, nice one onto the side there on Malnax. 528, that artillery piece paying dividend there. Now the reposition, but Swift, they're going to go for the overmatch, Mojo.
But also GoHard is already moving away, so that's a smart decision. They will be behind the corner and there will be a big crossfire here in effect. So Swift now has to be really careful about what they do.
Great timing there from GoHard, Atmospheric, Mirsky, Mikhailov, Skylax. They were all going for the overmatch. GoHard just getting around that corner just in time. Now they've done some damage to Mandax. Road did leave his bush for a second there, but he's now back in it. And now Swift, they're going back to where they were before.
Kaizu really stopped nicely in this bush and put in instant reload. I mean, it's a bold move. If Swift would actually do some suicidal push, he would be dead without the damage done. But he guessed correct, of course, that Swift will not do something like that. There is too much at stake, and it's too great of a risk to just push blindly. So that was a good decision for him, and he bought precious seconds for the reload.
So, 5 minutes almost gone here, or 4.5 at this point. So far, only damage being taken is Mandax. Got connected by the artillery earlier. GoHard, they need to do something now. I mean, any time they're sitting doing nothing is time they're wasting.
So 5 minutes in, and we can see these guys really trying to pressure them in. But so far, we see Mendex and the guys. Like, this is the issue, guys, here. They have Mendex here now in this position, so he can pretty much, through the buildings, control this angle. He's safe from RT. RT can only shoot parallel like this. That's why they're sending a butcher to try to approach, and time is ticking away. So they have Road. he's keeping an eye on this cap. No one will try to pressure there. Also, Road from there can see them a bit on this angle, so they have an info if someone is approaching them from the lower side. This will all end up in one moment, in just like a big push and a little pressure from the GoHard, because they cannot really effectively cap. There is always someone who can deal with it.
Next, taking some more, actually. Nice shot there coming out from Diplomat again, and one more, perhaps Nile from the side. Now down to 894. Now this is better for GoHard. Scarium in return gets wrecked, though. Goes down to 184 HP, has a dead ammo rack, a dead gunner, and a dead commander. Rip in pieces.
He has only driver alive. Of 3 crew members, he has only 1 alive. He probably doesn't have a medkit. He probably had to use repair kit already, so he would run away. So he's pretty much a dead slot there. There is a 3 minutes and 45 seconds left. Swift has 1500 HP advantage, and I would say 2 tanks more, because you cannot even count artillery now. Yes, he's chipping away on Mendex, but it's more like tanks that are shooting him in the side when he peeks.
There comes the push now, though, from Swift. Well, at least it looks like that. They're grouping up on the corner. They might want to go for Kaizu here, and I don't think he is seeing this one coming. There they come. Mikhailov atmospheric, the first 2 round the corner. Kaizu, he tries to run, but there is no running from this fire squad from Swift as they take him out very quickly.
This was a really good choice by them to push. Now their GoHard is forced to do a counter push, but they will be overmatched. Here, Scarium is already paying the price.
Scarium overextending there. He tried to do what he can, but with that crew, there's not much he could do. Nile, now the next one already takes 1k damage as well. And this is looking good for Swift. They're about 3k up here. They need a big shot from Diplomat at this point in time. Looks like he's going to be the next one here for Swift. Look at that damage. Tiny gets tried, he gets held. It's going to be Road actually from the side that picks it up. And this is not good at all for GoHard here. Swift, they came in this match and they are dominating.
Swift is looking really good and strong here. I mean, this game is already done. I believe out of range guys are as nervous as ever at the moment. It's not looking good for GoHard, and the display on this map was really shaky and really weak. It looked weak, without any real plan.
Trying to work for RT did not work out for them in the end. Swift, we almost saw them do that counter push the first time around. The second time around when they actually went for it, Mirsky now picks up Carry Barry. Suxika, Nile, Diplomat, the last 3 standing here. A good counter push here from Swift and a little bit careless from Kaizu. Nobody was spotting that corner.
No one was paying attention to it. No one was covering it. They read it correct. Did a really good thing. And just won the match, even if they didn't. Even if they didn't. GoHard would still have very little precious time, and they will have to go in for the Swift. And it's really questionable, would they be able to survive something like that.
Diplomat now, the last one standing here in that artillery piece. Maybe he can take one of Swift with him on the way out. It doesn't look like it, though, as he shoots, he misses. Road picks it up, now bringing it 3-2 in favor of Swift here. Out of range, they are not going to be very happy watching this one.
We expected much better game for GoHard so far, but that flank on the Ghost Town costed them dearly. I mean, that first game when it was a blind push, and after that, collision in cap, I mean, it wasn't really the best display. Here now, this is the 3rd game in a row they lost in this match. 3rd game in a row. And this one really looked unprepared. I didn't see any specific tactic, any real idea how to deal with the map. It's
just work for Artie.
Yeah, but it's just bits and pieces, and you can't work for Artie if people hide from it. We've seen a lot of teams when they face Artie, they just have occasionally spotter here and there, they move away and they approach when they want. We've seen it on Murovanka happen many times so far. Not everyone wants to be a target for Kusok.
True.
Or Diplomat.
Well, who is first in stats?
Skylex, maybe?
I think Mirsky.
I see.
Sometimes I am really good.
Nice.
Like, I don't know how I came on Mirsky's name. I just remember, like, a lot of the TVP. I was like, Mirsky's first. I don't know. I seriously don't know how I came by his name.
That's a good one. 3k for Mirsky here. Crespix in Leopard, that you really don't like. 2nd in the damage here.
That doesn't change my opinion.
Carryberry, well, just not enough. Not enough, bro. So, mixed up picture here, but look at this. Karium, he got wrecked.
I don't even know how he got wrecked so hard.
Tyne.
But Tyne as well, like 94 damage, 1 kill, sure, but I don't know, man. Like, Scarium should not have gotten wrecked that much for
He
free.
overpeaked because he thought he can do some damage to E5, and that was a dear price he paid there. A price of ignorance at that moment even.
Well, GoHard now chasing, actually. Well, we look at the highlights. And I don't know what's happening to GoHard. This is where Malnax came over. Nice shell from Diplomat right there. But this was the counter push here, and Kaizu really did not expect this one. Mikhailov, Atmospheric Skylinks are like, what's up?
I mean, this is such a normal overmatch in this map because when you have tanks between these little two hills, barely anyone can help you guys. Like, you have to have people right below you there in a city. That's number one. Or you just have some tank fat like Mouse, and he's bouncing a lot of shells, so most of these guys are out of the shells by the time you are done, and then you do a counter push and you just kill them because they don't have what to fight you with.
To be fair, this one wasn't even close. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
this game was so one-sided, it's ridiculous.
it's not looking good. Well, we did say GoHard has 0% win ratio on the attack, and so does Swift, so...
So now we need to see will Swift manage to get their first win in attack on Murovanka in the next game. That's gonna be I don't know. I can't say it's gonna be a blast to watch because
so
this is really slow so far.
If Swift win the next round, that's it. Out of range. Done.
Yeah, they will get 1 point.
They need GoHard to pick up the next 3 rounds. If they don't, out of range is out.
Yeah, I believe there is a lot of nervous people there watching this match now because this one game can decide their fate. Both theirs and Swift's. Well, they'll still have a chance to play the qualifier later, either of them.
Yeah, but that's not really what they're aiming for.
No one aims for that, and you have to fight a lot of teams there.
Well, let's take a look what we got for our tanks. I'm just thinking how nervous out of range is at this point.
Well, Swift won 3 games in a row, so really good going for them. They're playing with Grille, 113, and Lorraine Arti. I really don't understand this 113. Honestly, I don't like the pick of it. I've seen several teams play with it and stick it in this middle, and it just usually dies for nothing. They've been placing 113s, FV heavies, whatnot. I don't know. Just take an E5 or Mouse or just another medium. I mean, you don't need anything else. You can just deal with them. But GoHard, this is a really big fighter setup actually. With E5 and tier 9 heavy.
Tier 9 WZ?
That's a new one. That's a new one. I guess you can play with tier 9 WZ in a front instead of Ice 4. And you can keep an E5 on some offhand place.
Perhaps the WZ on the corner and the E5 in the 1-2 line?
Yes. Something like that. But we will see what they choose, because they have also a lot of these rotational tanks, and they have tier 9 bot they can use instead of 3090. There is plenty of bushes that can cover him and make it good for them. So we will see what will GoHard choose now. Of course, Murovanka is highly defensive map, and Swift still has to get their first victory there.
Indeed, Swift for now 0% win ratio on the offensive side as well. Well, gonna have to see. I mean, Swift win this. That's it. Like I said, it's them into phase 2.
Well, seconds are ticking.
Game is ready, so let's get into it. The 6th round between these two. Swift picked this up. That's them into phase 2. Everything's on the line here. That's a lot of extra pressure. They're going to be attacking. GoHard is going to be defending. And they are moving towards the forest.
Well, it's going to be a whole lot of bush shooting here, and we just need to see is GoHard maybe preparing some kind of a trap first there, because there is a heavy tank heading down. That's an unusual start. GoHard is splitting all over the place.
Perhaps they put him on the corner there on H9.
Are they using him instead of a 3090 spotter down in the bushes?
Yeah, I guess so. He just will just wait on the corner.
Okay. That's a new one. Never seen it before.
It might work. If he gets there unspotted, I mean, there's a chance.
But Swift is a really careful team. Do you remember we even had a highlight how they destroyed that 11390? They were just surprised because the defending team actually...
They can't spot Kaizu unless they come around the corner.
Well,
there's bushes there. There's bushes there. There should be bushes there. You can sit behind.
Also, Swift then had a tier 10 object, Russian medium, who was going in front.
You see? Kaizu is behind bushes here. So they have to send somebody around the corner to go get him. And there's 3 bad shots waiting for that.
But if that one guy is Mendex, and he's going there. He can peek really carefully, and then they can start working on the bushes. And he's firing here. He's not spotted. If he does a careless move and just moves too much, that can be their doom. It's really surprising sometimes how much time actually Swift pays attention to this. And he's spotted and he knows there is someone there. He knows now, and Swift is very diligent in digging out those people there. We've seen them do it for like a couple of minutes in last match.
Slow stuff here now from Swift. Like you said, Mandax, he got spotted out. It kind of gives him the information that there is somebody waiting. Ooh, GoHard. Ooh, this is risky. This is real risky. And leaving Kaizu there, rotating with everybody else?
Well, they know he's pretty much as dead as Dodo. They cannot really help him out, but they can lose several more tanks when it happens. My bet is here. They're just going to try to gather the tanks elsewhere, and once Kaizu is pushed, they'll just try to overmatch them on another part of the map.
Risky stuff here. Real risky stuff from GoHard. Very, very brave. Look at the rotation. Annihilator, Tyne, Diplomat, Berry.
It can work.
They're all going.
It can work because there is an artillery there, and especially if Grilla is not aimed where they will push from, it can really work wonders for them. There is a couple of budgets joining Mandax now, but I don't know what kind of good will they do if they even suspect there is anyone up there. Those budgets would be suicidal to push around.
Yeah, Mandax keeps getting spotted, but he's now driving forwards. Oh, Kaizu. Oh, he doesn't even connect the first shell now. Mandax is pushing onto that tier 9 heavy. Kaizu is going to be done for, but the counter push, the real important thing right now is those bad shots. Road is in trouble. Kaizu, he's done for. We notice Road in return should go down here as well, and that's the tier 10 that will go down. But nice shell from Mikhailov there onto Nile. Can they save Nile? No, they can't. Road actually picks it up. Now, this is not looking good for GoHard. Mikhailov is on the run. Skyrim is now pushing across as well. They kind of need to hold here. They have to be careful if Mikhailov can land another one.
Why is Tyne so back behind? He's like sniping and they already lost 2 tanks. He should be there with the guys to support him. There is a counter push coming now from Swift, and it's gonna be a world of pain.
The counter push coming here from Swift. Diplomat only has 2 shells available now, only 1. This is looking good for Swift. They're winning in the HP. It's do or die. They want this, but they don't have many shells available either. Crespix is on reload. Skylex has 1. Atmospheric is also on the reload. Big shell perhaps here from Mirsky. No, he doesn't. He misses. Suxika still has 2 shells available. And the HPs, they are in favor of Swift here, but it's not over just yet. As I say that though, Skyrim gets completely wrecked, and Barry, he's coming in. They need to take down Mandax right now if they want any chance in this round.
But he will do another shell here, and there will be soon done a reload of Swift guys, and they will push because they have the HP, the positions, whatever you want.
Carry just get absolutely deleted, and it looks like it's going to be Swift. They want to secure themselves into the second phase as Mandax, he picks up Skyrim, Suxika, Diplomat, Tiny, the last 3 standing. There's going to be a lot of sad people right now as Swift, they look to bring themselves onto match point, secure themselves into that second phase.
Out of range is RIP with these points, with this health that is lifting away from the GoHard. Out of range is sticking away from our league.
Suxika does pick up Skylex, but they're all one-shot Swift. It seems like they've done it. GoHard did not have an answer for them. The rotation, it didn't work out. Swift, they had it. I mean, GoHard's rotation was very risky. Now Tyne peeks up, takes down Mandax, but still, it really doesn't matter. Atmospheric now coming in with full reload. So is Mikhailov. Crespix is almost reloaded as well. Just a matter of time. Mercy misses the shell.
He's just not connecting anything.
Mikhailov misses the shell. Suxika trying to land some, but there comes Atmospheric. He has every single shell available. Diplomat only has 1. Atmospheric can pretty much kill the entirety of GoHard here. He gets the first, and he gets the second. There he go. Tyne now the last one standing on the run, on the move. Atmospheric gets all 3, and it's going to be Swift securing themselves into the second phase, and we're going to have to say goodbye to Out of Range.
Under huge pressure here, Swift actually manages to do it. The match is not over here. They are on match point. It is 4-2 to Swift.
I mean,
but Out of Range, who is watching this result, knows Swift already secured 1 point. They both have 13. Now Swift will have 14
at least.
no matter what happens in next games.
It's sayonara out of
that's
range.
it for them, because the Wild Bunch is already on 14 also. So all the effort, all the big fights out of range that in last games,
Too little,
it's
too late.
just too late. Just too late. We will see a lot of magnificent players just out now. And that's one of the big disruptive parts we were talking about in the start. Every little point, people will miss it. But let's not undermine here now. GoHard now. They're on a tilt. They lost 2 matches in a row.
4 rounds in a row.
4 rounds in a row now. It started really good. 2-0, close,
I mean,
but 2-0.
they're starting to go from a winning streak here to a losing streak. That would be the 3rd game in a row they lose.
And it doesn't even look close now. Like, this map is really
I really
horrible.
don't understand that rotation.
No. This is Murovanka. Looks like they have no plan.
Well, what is that rotation? Why go all through the north? I mean, seriously, it doesn't make sense. Kaizu is in a good position there. They can very easily trade a ton of damage from Mandax. They see that's the 1-1-3 first. They just load heat and they destroy the 1-1-3 if he comes around the corner. You trade Kaizu for pretty much a full 1-1-3. The Batshot's running away. One of them goes into bushes. You send time.
They were afraid if they were get approached by other guys and they would get clipped. So they might get a chance if they push around and do something smart there. So there was a chance. But honestly, that TD, he really took care of that.
Well, let's see how much Mikhailov managed to do in this one.
He's probably top in this game.
Probably top in this one. No, it's actually Crespix.
Wow, he's even 4th. There is a lot of guys who fought there. Diplomat is one of them.
I stand by not agreeing with that rotation. They should have all loaded heat. Well, Tyne obviously can't load heat because he has a PCR. Destroy the 1-1-3, send Tyne into the bushes. You trade Kaizu for pretty much a full 1-1-3, after which Swift wastes like 4 minutes.
Or don't even do that. Like, the tactic from the start is just BS.
Yeah, I mean, even if they had to go with it at that point because Kaizu, he can't really run away. But I don't agree with just leaving him there. And then Nile pushed in too early before the rest of his team got wrecked by Road.
Look at Mirsky, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously. He had the entire game to connect someone. I mean, okay, they won, but...
I don't like to play. Let's take a look at the highlights from the last round. Seriously can't agree with the play that was made in those rounds. I mean, this is where Kaizu gets absolutely wrecked.
It was expected, but it's really brilliant reads also from Swift.
This is where Nile just pushes in without his team's like, what's up? Mikhailov is like, yo.
That's a nonsense. That's a nonsense. A road both sweet time there, and Mikhailov and him took care Nile for free. Like, Mikhailov really well positioned and really well
yeah, and he had a dead
here.
loader like the entire game.
Wow.
And Commander.
And Commander. Wow.
Atmospheric picks up all 3 kills at this point. 1, 2, and then Tyne was number 3. Look, number 3, Atmospheric.
Yeah.
Triple kill.
Quad kill, triple kill.
Oh,
well,
baby, a triple.
Match point here now for Swift.
Yep.
Not something we expected by now.
I think it's over.
It doesn't look like GoHard is really fighting hard.
It looks like they're on tilt.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but it really does look like they're on tilt.
Well, they're a young team, new here. I mean, I would really like to stand corrected here now on Himmelsdorf. I would really like to, because they are one of the... they're the most promising new team we have at the moment
my
in the league.
experience tells me it looks like they're on tilt. The way they're playing, it looks like they're on tilt.
This Murovanka just looked horrible.
Yeah. Also, their Murovanka, that entire rotation kind of tells that they're not secure with what they're doing, so they're trying something else and already abandoning what they were doing. I don't know.
Let's see. Maybe Himmelsdorf better surrounding place. Who knows?
Let's take a look what we got for our tanks, shall we?
Yeah.
So, the...
GoHard on offense here.
Yep. GoHard on offense.
Well, GoHard here actually has a really decent record on Himmelsdorf, so they might
Swift
be
has
here.
A terrible record on Himmelsdorf.
So they might be in their comfort zone, GoHard I mean, because they have overall 75%, that's really high. Really good attack also, like 67%, and they're doing it now. But still, they lost 4 in a row, and it's really a question, are they able to come back around it? This is overall default setup. We've seen what GoHard is playing now. So it's rotational setup, but one connection by that, 1A3.
As long as Crespix is not playing it, they'll be all right.
And as you said it.
Well, it does seem like our game is ready. Is Swift going to close out with the full 3 points? Is GoHard going to mount a comeback? Let's find out on Himmelsdorf. So go hard here on the offense, Swift on the defense. Swift currently on match point.
We do not see Crespix on FV183. If anyone is wondering why, who didn't watch the season from the start, Crespix had absolute blunder and horrific games. In those, he was always missing the timings when to go with his team, when to do those shots. Then they switched him on playing Grille on Himmelsdorf, and he started performing really well. But those 183 games, they're not forgotten, and we see other person playing him now.
By the way, something to point out, Nile is playing the Terrain here.
Oh, wow. That's actually really unusual. I never seen it do that before.
No, me neither. But since Danny hasn't been playing...
And they have to switch someone. And Stuxika is playing tier 10 all the time, and he was playing a lot of tier 9s and 8s before. So Tyne, Kaizu on 113, Stuxika, and Scarium on 50B. Scarium was also playing tier 8s a lot.
Yep.
Diplomat on Grille, Kerryberry on Bachet, and Nile on 1390. Will they be able to come back in the game? Mersky is here bouncing some shells. He's not in really brilliant position here, honestly.
Diplomat can really wreck him. I mean, Diplomat is now lining up the shell. See if he can connect it onto Mersky. And there we go. 737 taken off.
And he's not even spotted. Well played by Diplomat. Well played.
It's just a bad position for Mersky. Yeah, he has some decent third armor, but Diplomat shooting down on him with the Grille will always go through.
Yeah, but good thing is he actually lined it up and he didn't allow himself to get spotted while he's doing it. So that's why I say well played. Connection itself is just a part of it. But there is a really big cluster of tanks of Swift down, waiting for some kind of... 3 of them
already got spotted out by Nile, so...
But they don't know are they still there or they rotated back. They also left the road to spot approach up so they can come back immediately. And I believe Atmospheric is there in a corner with E5 as usual.
Diplomat is just staring down Mersky here. I mean, GoHard, they're just kind of holding defensive right now because they know where Swift was, but at one point they have to rotate. They have to go for either one of the bases.
Swift should really play patience now. This is not a moment to slip out and do something hastily. They have all the cards in their hands.
Well, Kaizu is just monitoring here the D-line, seeing if he can spot anything. Carry retractor back towards the hill. I'm going to send Nile first down that 8 line to check for any possible traps being made by Swift.
Well, this really doesn't leave us with a lot of options here. So maybe these guys will just have to press a bit on 8 line. Now what it gives us this, when they have a grill here up on a hill, he will have to position here to countershoot anyone who is trying to decap. Cap will obviously come here because this E5 on the top corner here can always deal with this. So this is not an option at all. So most of these guys will have to probably leave a tank here, have some force here that will aim up for any kind of counter rotation. And the main thing is to make sure that none of the Swift guys actually gets here on this lump and shoot them in the back. That's why we have that big trap down. That's an unexpected part.
A big trap down, which Swift is kind of anticipating. Look at the rotation. They're sending nobody to the sound.
They're taking no more baits and traps. I think they actually broke their teeth once or twice doing that. But Mersky is really not having a good time in that TD. I don't know. Not really best tank for him to play at the moment.
Down to 805. Probably took another shell here from Diplomat. At least it looks
like
that.
No, it was from Kaizu now.
Kaizu?
Yeah.
Okay. So took a shell from Kaizu there. Now Swift rotation coming through here through the north. This is the correct thing to do for them. We can see it on the minimap as well. The rotation is correct. Nice shell from Barry onto Crespix.
Well, they know Nile already ran away from the cap now. Kerry, he did a couple of shells of damage for exchange for one received. That's good for them. And there is a rotation now coming from the lower part of the tanks of the GoHard. They're going for the rails, it seems. Mersky is going to be in a world of pain here.
Mersky, if he doesn't anticipate this one, he's going to be removed rather quickly, but he is aiming towards that. So he might get at least one shot off before he dies, which is usually enough on the FU183.
That's all you need. If it's one worthy one, he pays off. We already said, if he makes one shot that does like 2k or at least takes out a tank, he's already paid off his value here. But Swift, again, doing a good read and already in position to intercept any GoHard rotation. My Road taking a bit of damage here by Kaizu.
Mirsky now repositioning as well. Suxika crosses. Only takes one shot for his trouble there. Kind of worked out in his favor there. Crespix and Skylex were covering the crossing. Didn't get the shot. Mikhailov just behind that building, but he's not fully safe there. I mean, I think Diplomat might have a small angle in him as well, and he can be shot under the rails.
Ooh, Mirsky took another shell here, and he's in reload. And I don't think he has much room to run. To Road is taken out. Now GoHard is really trying here hard, and they are 3000 HP in advantage. Yes, there is not much time, but they're doing a good job.
Time is running low, but there are a lot of HP at this point. Barry went towards that other cap, but Atmospheric, he didn't move, he stayed there. Now Scarium is getting absolutely wrecked, down to 159 HP. Oh, poor Scarium. Now Mikhailov, he's pushing forwards. He kind of knows he has the overmatch over there. Mandax is joining him. This is going back in favor of Swift here.
It's going to be really tight. If they lose these 250Bs, it's going to be a big problem for GoHard. They will lose entire rotation force, and they will have to push in a cluster of the tanks up.
There goes the first. There goes the second. Great stuff from Swift. Yes, the HP is even, but the guns are in their hands now. Mirsky is alive as well. Atmospheric is taking some damage in that E5, but he'll be alright. Nice shells onto Kaizu there from Skylex. Has to get around that corner there. Oh, takes even more. Great stuff from Swift. They wanted. Crespix actually picks him up.
They're turning the game completely around. Now there is a cap pressure going up, but Atmospheric is alone enough to decap that and deal with it. There is enough tanks even coming to his aid. Diplomat and Nile. Maybe they will take Atmospheric. But those are weak tank without armor. They're gonna get wrecked by the rest. And Kerry, Berry, and Tyne, they're pretty much out of the fight.
Nile now kills Atmospheric, but there comes the rotation. Mandax in that bad shot. Skylex from one side, Mandax from the other. Mandax picks up Annihilator. Diplomat here, he's in that gorilla. He can't do anything more than fire one shell, and he gets removed. Swift, they want this one. Two tanks standing here from GoHard, and it's not going to go to a tiebreaker. Swift, they look like they're going to take this clean, Mojo.
This is as clean as it gets. This is 5 games in a row. I mean, okay, we still have Tyne and Kerry Berry, but they here have to perform a real miracle and some kind of godly play to take out all these 5 guys. It's 2 against 5.
Doesn't seem, 4. Doesn't seem like the miracles are going to be on sale today. Swift, they are not giving any more gifts since the beginning of the season now. You know, they want these points. They want to challenge this top 4, top 6, whatever they are aiming for. Barry now on reload, repositioning with Tyne. I mean, theoretically there's a chance here for them, but Swift, they should always have this.
The real issue is there is Mikhailov here with 1500 HP, and then you also have Skylex with all that HP in 50B. Now these guys are the main problem here now, because they might deal with Crespix and Mandax, but these guys have a lot of HP to deal with, and they already took another shell for no need.
They're not letting them go.
And another shell again. Tyne already took 2.
And Swift, they're not letting them go. Look at Skylex, Crespix, they're pushing forward.
They're not giving them the rotation.
Nope, they're not giving them the option to go anywhere at all. They're going to push forwards. Mikhailov, he knows he has a lot of HP. He knows he can take the fight with Tyne if he wants to. Crespix will be joining him. Barry takes another shell. It's looking good here for Swift. Gary could be able to pick up Crespix here, but no, he backs up around the corner
Skylex
again.
is coming behind Tyne now. Look at this, and this is going to be a clipping in the back. Again, this little Ellie, for Christ's sake, how many more times?
Crespix picks up Tyne, and it's going to be Swift securing themselves in the second phase and taking the 3 points from GoHard as well, which is their 3rd loss in a row here. Full tilt. This